Hey guys, what's up? This is Blaze the Movie Fan and it's time for another commentary video. This time I will be commenting on Doodletones' commentary on Serious Gamer. Now before I begin, I am gonna show you the degrees. These are the degrees. If you wanna read the degrees, I highly suggest you pause the video right here. Also, if you are new to my channel, welcome. Before I dive into the video, I'm gonna explain to you my style of commentaries. My style is that I only include parts of the video that I wanna commentate on and cut everything else out of the video. And I don't use skip cards as I personally find them unnecessary. So anyway, without further ado, let's dive in.
God damn it, serious. What a pickle you put up for me. There's no chance in hell I'm doing this alone. Fuck that. Calling all characters, I'm gonna need some backup.
Commentary mode activate.
Konnichiwa, Doodle-senpai!
Yeah, I'm here too.
Oh boy, now's my chance. Wait, who the fuck are you? It's me. Your review character? Susie Doodle the review gal? It's been a while. Oh, come on, it hasn't been that long. You released a video but not like, what, a week ago? At most?
I don't have a problem with most of the characters appearing in this commentary, but I have a problem with one, and that is your reviewing character. Seriously, what's the point of making your reviewing character different from your commentary character? I see absolutely no difference between the two. The only difference I see is that one of them reviews TV episodes while the other commentates on online videos. There's absolutely no other difference between the two. So again, I must ask, what's the fucking point of making them separate characters in this commentary? Though, to be fair, the rest of the characters are very different. I can see the difference personality-wise, but I can't see the difference between those two that I just mentioned.
Oh yeah, good job putting as little effort into that intro as possible. Hell, I could make a better intro. Oh wait, I already did. Like 2 years ago, when I made crappy reviews. Link in description.
Look guys, it's the Angel of Death, where he's just going to say the intro is a problem and not explain how or why it's a problem and how to fix it. I really enjoy when an issue from a previous commentary happens in the exact same way with the exact same issue backing it.
And it's not like the priest's intro is a good intro. It could easily be shortened to save on time and not feel like it's padding itself out for the sake of padding. You too can buy a shorter intro for the cost of the soul that you may or may not have.
Actually, Serious Gamer does have a reason as to why he doesn't like the intro. Sure, his reason might be vague, but there is a reason nonetheless. His reason is that the priest put as little effort into the intro as possible. And since the rest of your characters explain why they don't like the intro, I'm not gonna give my reason for it, since that won't be necessary. Instead, there is an important point that I have to bring up, and that's the fact that does it really matter why he doesn't like the intro? I mean, I get that explaining your reasons is important for a commentary, but let's be honest here, who actually cares about intros? I don't know about you, but when I watch a commentary, I almost never care about the intro. What I focus more on and care more about are the arguments that someone makes in their commentaries. Intros are such a minor thing. A good or bad intro doesn't make the commentary good or bad. It's the points that do that.
Anyway, tonight's commentary will be on a user known as 8363MTR. He is one of the popular commentators in the NeoCC that has made many videos. But for now, I want to cover his video on Pokemon. I thought we were done with multi-layered anime bitch fests after the last time.
After the last time? Your last commentary was on Doodletones, and that was known as a first-degree commentary, unless you mean your Blaze of Arcana video being a second-degree commentary, but even that's just 2 layers. Does that really constitute calling it a multi-layered bitch fest like that?
Clearly anything higher than 1 is too high for him.
And you too can buy weed for the cost of prison time. Price varies from location to location. Call now.
I thought this was supposed to be a commentary on Serious Gamer. Keep on track. Yeah, that is the main problem that I have with this commentary. It's the fact that you are commenting on every single fucking degree in the chain. Now it can work, such as your video on the Joshua tree. The reason why I don't have a problem with you covering everybody in that particular commentary is because everyone in the chain except Joshua was extremely biased and didn't give Joshua a first chance, and therefore they made a lot of shitty arguments. But the reason it doesn't work here is because there is absolutely no need to cover everybody in the chain. All it does is drag out the video for longer than necessary. Now I don't have a problem with long videos as long as there is a good reason for them to be long. But I'm sorry, there is no good reason for this commentary to be as long as it is.
Huh. I guess George was right. I really am a turtle all along. I guess I was just trying to find out who I really was after having to deal with this identity crisis issue that's been going on with me, that the answer was right underneath my nose. Well, I gotta tell George that he was right all along. Or I could just wait until I'm done with this quickie.
If you guys have no clue what on hell earth he was talking about, you are not alone. Dude, nobody really cares about your personal friends or whatever tangent this was. You need to speak to your audience if you will be public.
Alright, before we get to his moronic second point, just because you only watched this video for material and didn't watch any of his other videos doesn't mean his fans, which are who his audience is, didn't understand what he meant. If you watch this guy regularly, or anything he's in, like, I don't know, co-ops or commentaries somewhere else besides this channel, I think you'll get what he's talking about.
Alright. Go on, Sirius, enlighten us. What was MTR on about? Clearly you watch him enough to know that this goes back to a different video entirely. Would you care to demonstrate some evidence as to what it is? Because I don't know about you, but I'm confused. Yeah, MTR just kinda drops in on us with the whole identity crisis thing like that and doesn't really give any context nor any context clues to who this George character is. Much less context to why George even called him a turtle to begin with. Look, I've dealt with unfinished writing in the past, but there's nothing to give us any insight to what the inside joke is going on here. Yeah, I suppose it's more nod towards people who do get the reference, but for people like the priest, this is very jarring.
What we are saying is, while you're correct about the whole he is making content for his fans,
The point the priest is trying to make is that this is an intro no newcomer would understand. Don't get us wrong. This intro, in theory, could work if it wasn't so reliant on knowing things prior to understand the joke.
There's one very important point that either you or Serious Gamer could have pointed out that would have totally debunked the priest's point. And that's the fact that no matter what you do on YouTube, you cannot entertain everyone. There will always be someone who dislikes your content. That's just the reality of the situation. Also, trying to entertain everyone is a good thing, don't get me wrong, but it's not always a good thing. The perfect example of what I'm talking about is my commentary on M-Scholar 1 that I made back in 2012. Back then I made a commentary on M-Scholar 1, and my purpose of that commentary was to try my hardest to entertain as many people as I could, and that blew in my face badly. As the commentary in return turned out to be shit. If you want to know everything that's wrong with it, a link to Super Funny Bros' commentary on that particular video is in the video description below.
But before we do, I love how you include absolutely no disclaimer telling people not to bully this person, nor a link to the original video, because getting links are hard.
May I?
Go ahead, Hand. Take the floor.
Ever think the reason Kenya fan doesn't add links is because she doesn't want people to go after the person she's covering? I mean, with no link, people would have to hunt down Michael to give him any kind of shit, and not a lot of people want to do that.
But the name of the video is in her video!
While true, the name of Michael's video is within Kenya's video. Without a link, people would still have to go out of their way to harass Michael. By not putting a link, Kenya could be trying to deter people from those doing just that. Of course, this is entirely hypothetical and assumptuous of Kenya's intent and only works as devil's advocate and nothing more. Doesn't even really debunk the point. But it gives Kenya more benefit of the doubt than you're willing to give her. And hey, if you want a real argument, I can start by questioning the fact, why does this matter? Yeah, I'm gonna put this thing into question as a whole. Nebula Badger, why does it matter that Kenya doesn't explicitly tell people to not go after Michael? Sure, it'd be more respectful if she did, as it shows signs that she's not doing this out of malicious intent. But the fact that she doesn't tell people to not do it is not in of itself a problem. So this just comes off as contradictory, jarring, and kind of just shoved in there for the sake of shoving it in there.
And that's what she said. Hey? Not in front of the kid. That's gross.
This is why you shouldn't have commented it on everybody in the chain. I mean, seriously, what's the point of restating what MTR is about to say when we cut back to him?
Okay, let's play devil's advocate here and ignore the fact that within the video she provided the title of the video that she's commentating on and a person in question so that people can look the information up, which is even more prevalent within your overall screenshot that you've given us. She could have not left the link of the video in question just so that she doesn't have to worry about the people attacking the user in question.
The only difference between your interjection and MTR's interjection is the fact that your interjection is longer. I mean, seriously, there was no need to clarify that point further, since we can understand exactly what he means. And saying more doesn't always add anything. In fact, in this case, all saying more to us is drag out the video for longer than necessary.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate here and ignored the fact that within the video she provided the title of the video that she's commentating on and a person in question so that people can look the information up.
Perhaps that is an option, but we still have to find it ourselves, and sometimes the title doesn't appear with the option search.
If I could point you in the direction so that you will see, if you look ahead in the video, the person in question is using a screen recorder. So it's not only the title, it's also the exact channel name you can type in.
You know, Sirius, I could give you this if it wasn't for the fact that you're really just repeating what MTR said and the priest is addressing. You're arguing with a previous point that's already being addressed.
You did the exact same fucking thing earlier on in the video, or more specifically, you're handed. So let me ask, why is it okay when you do it, but not okay when Sirius does it?
Basically, what I'm saying is that unless you know for certain that this would fix the issue, don't say that it actually is the end-all be-all.
You really want to paint this guy as Hitler, don't you?
No. No, he doesn't. MTR is just stating that unless Nebula Badger knows for certain the echo, not reverb, you scrubs, but echo would be fixed by not using an external microphone, then he really shouldn't be telling Kenya to pitch money into an external microphone. Because if Kenya gets an external microphone, then he realizes the problem isn't fixed. Then Nebula Badger hasn't fixed the problem, he just gave Kenya a useless suggestion that goes nowhere.
Like a lot of the things Nebula Badger gives in this video.
You are taking what the priest says far too fucking literally. He is exaggerating to make his point stronger.
These characters are about 9 evolutions and they like to go on failure adventures together.
They don't go on failure adventures. Like they're Pokemon you evolve from Eevee. They have different methods.
But they do go on adventures. That's one of the major aspects of Pokemon. You catch an Eevee and it'll evolve into one of the 8 evolutions as you go on your journey to become a Pokemon Master. The minute you catch an Eevee, it'll go on an adventure with you. That few when you do a Go Anime video and you still make a shit point.
BRB, buying bleach from hand.
Fuck yeah.
Wait, why bleach?
Look, if you're gonna comment it on everybody in the chain, make sure you pay total attention to everybody in the chain. Because she didn't just say that Evie doesn't go on adventures with you. She said that she doesn't go on failure adventure. The word failure is actually important in this case, since it shows that she is talking about failure adventures specifically, not just adventures.
Evie is a crybaby. Glacian asks for ice too much. Sylvian always wears her stupid bow and she does not take it off.
If I could take a break from Mr. Ordained over here. What is this moron talking about? Not a word of what he is saying about evolutions has made a lick of sense from the damn beginning.
Since Doodletones forgot to cover that point, which makes me wonder why the hell she even left it in the video in the first place, I might as well cover it. The reason why nothing that he says makes any sense is because he's a troll, and I'm gonna explain why later on in the video.
There's a reason to why Sylvian always wears a bow. It's hence why she's a fairy type.
So bows mean fairy type? Got it. Rowlet and the entire Gothitelle line are fairy types confirmed. Do you even Pokemon?
Well, I'm a fairy type and I have a magic longbow and a Runara. What do you think of that? Clefable, get the hell off there!
Leafeon is a ripoff of Leafy from BFDI.
Pokemon existed before BFDI?
No offense, but a lot of your points seem to be of the,
no fucking shit
variety.
Here's a question, Badger. Why is this a problem? You don't go on to explain why this is a problem, so here just feels like you're saying these points are right, just really obvious. But if his points are correct, I fail to see an immediate issue with them.
Hey, yeah, that's a good point. If the points are just no fucking shit, that would just mean they're the bare bones, not that they're wrongly require pointing out. What's the deal?
Stating the obvious can be a legitimate problem with a commentaries as it can make it redundant and sometimes annoying. That's what Seattle Blizzard said the bandwagon from 2011 was infamous for. If you want a more recent example, Jake Spider-Monkey did a commentary on the game Dude last year where he was bringing nothing new to the table.
Off-screen enemies are a bitch. Oh crap.
You know, you could have jumped to the left of that platform and avoided that enemy. But then you wouldn't have something to bitch about now, would you?
We get it. Game Dude sucks balls at the game. Now can you please say something new that wasn't said by everyone back in 2010?
The reason why what he said was stating the obvious is because he was beating a dead horse, since he was saying stuff that we already know about the game Dude. Now I'm aware that Megatube TV's commentary on that guy was around a year ago and Jake Spider-Monkey's commentary is even older. But I'm sorry to say, but this is the most recent example of someone stating the obvious where it is a problem. If I could think of a more recent example, I would use it for sure, but unfortunately this is the most recent example I can think of. But I hope you get my point.
Jolteon always shock people to death. Vaporeon always pours water on people's belongings. And Espeon cries just as much as Evie.
They're not crybabies, they're not failures.
Pointless interjection!
Actually, this point could have been a lot better than it originally was, because that technically wasn't a pointless interjection. All Kanye fan was doing was trying to debunk the claim saying that they aren't crybabies and failures, because Michael here stated that one of them was a crybaby.
But they didn't debunk the point. They just said they were not crybabies, which is not debunking. End of story.
My question now is, with all of this, why are any of these videos above the first guy even made? None of them do anything to debunk anything beyond repeating yourself. Every layer is included in this, you know.
Including yours, faggot. Make another actual point that doesn't make me want to kill myself.
Ropes, guns, bleach, I have them all. Just gotta make sure you have enough.
And don't forget the last option, jumping off a cliff. Whoa, 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 isn't that going too far? It was just a joke. I don't care if it's a joke, it's still going too far. You should be ashamed. Yeah, you're right.
Not really debunking your point here, but what she failed to realize here was that could have been multiple Pokemon of the same species who could have the personality of them being crybabies. But since we're talking about generality here, what she could do better was to elaborate on her point. There! I went ahead and did a point against Kanye fan for you. And that'll be $5.
What did this debunk exactly? Oh right, nothing.
He was agreeing with him and trying to make his point better by elaborating on a better solution. I don't see what's wrong here. Wasn't really trying to debunk anything, which is what he said at the beginning.
Okay, serious question, Doodletones. What was the point of keeping that in the video if you had nothing to say about it? You have done it twice in this commentary. You should have skipped both of Serious Gamer's interjections that you had nothing to say about. Leaving in parts of the video that you have nothing to say about only makes the video unnecessarily long. Granted, you briefly mention this interjection later on in the video, but it's still not enough to justify keeping it in.
You must really hate this guy to want to argue against him this badly that you don't even debunk him and basically admit he was right, but still try to make him seem bad. Wow.
I'm sorry, Priest, how well do you know MTR? How much do you know his opinion on Nebula Badger? Are you able to see into his mind and see that MTR is secretly plotting against Nebula Badger for the sake of calling him out? No. Putting your character aside, no you cannot. This is a presumptuous mess of an interjection that's only there to call out MTR, and unlike you, I can state that, as you are actually stating his intent, stating that MTR, and I quote, hates Nebula Badger, which is something you cannot know on your own. Actually, in fact, I can tell you what MTR thinks about Nebula Badger. How? By watching the beginning of the video where he briefly goes over said opinion of the kid.
Now, interesting enough, I've seen Nebula Badger's previous content before, and my biggest issues with him so far was that he wasn't really giving people something worth a damn, or really some kind of entertainment value there. Thankfully, he's been improving on that, but then there's this commentary. Hopefully, this will probably just be some kind of fluke, but this really didn't even impress me at all.
He even says, hey, this kid is improving overall, but this video was a little less than subpar. Not, hey, this kid is trash and we should laugh at him. You could make the hyperbole argument or the joke argument all you want, but considering earlier where you repeated a similar point accusing MTR of trying to make Nebula Badger look like Hitler, it's hard to not take this as a serious point from the beginning. Also, if I can actually address your argument in whole, MTR was trying to make Nebula Badger's argument better for him, which is what he just got through saying before your interjection. Basically critiquing Nebula Badger's point indirectly. This is right there in black and white, and I have no idea how you didn't actually catch that.
What seems to be flying over your head is the reason why the priest came to that conclusion. Now don't get me wrong, I do like MTR's video, but it's far from great. My main issues with this video is the fact that he didn't debunk anything, and most of his points were incredibly minor. And because of those two things that I stated, it makes sense that the priest would think that MTR is trying to make Nebula Badger look worse than he actually is. Now am I saying that the priest is correct for assuming that? No, of course not. I know that he is incorrect. But I can at least see where he is coming from, unlike you.
How much is there left of this video? I believe that's about it actually. They have a few more back and forths that are unintentionally hilarious and then move on to final thoughts, so I guess that's time for us to move on to ours. I think it's best if we all sit this part out actually. This is more your thing. Really? All 6 of them? Fine. Alright, I'll start with Michael because I didn't fully cover him to the extent I could have in the past. Same with Kenya fan. Michael, unsure if you're gonna stumble across this, but on the off chance you do, what the fuck, man? Do you understand anything at all regarding your rants? While most people who commentate on you will just say, ugh, this is so formulaic and move on, I'm actually going to explain the issue with your formula. It's way too goddamn vague, to the point that you basically have to make up a bunch of fictional bullshit to justify your reasons. Unless you're trying to be a troll, which is really hard to tell given the go rant-mate style, I'd really suggest you go more into depth with your complaints towards these topics.
No offense, Doodletones, but you need to learn the difference between a troll and a legitimate user, because that person that you were just trying to give some advice to is a fucking troll. He doesn't care if he is making bad arguments. He is making intentionally stupid arguments for attention. How do I know this? Because every single fucking thing he said are things that trolls would normally say to get a reaction. I mean, it's obvious that his arguments are intentionally ridiculous and over the top. Now I understand that it sometimes can be hard to tell the difference between a troll and a legitimate user. But with this guy, it's plainly fucking obvious that he is a troll. So really your advice will fall on deaf ears.
Kenya, boy, do you got a ways to go, don't you? Elaboration gets to be your best friend when it comes to commentaries. Instead of just saying, oh, this thing is wrong, demonstrate why it's wrong to the person you're covering, as that gives people like Michael here something to go off of. I get you're young, but it's good to start earlier, and you could definitely use the improvement.
Is it really necessary to give your overall thoughts on everybody in the fucking chain? All it does is drag out the video for longer than necessary. As if commentating on every degree didn't do that enough.
So guys, what's next? Guys? Where'd you go? Guys? Fuck this, I'm getting a soda.
So you want soda? Here you go. Here is Coke for you. I hope you enjoy it. Now it's time for my overall thoughts. This commentary isn't good awful. In fact, I wouldn't even say that it's bad, but it still had a lot of issues that I had to point out. Doodletones, by the chance that you're watching this video, I hope you don't think of this video as a hate video, because it's not a hate video at all. Now I doubt you would think that. I hope you take everything that I said into consideration. Well guys, that's all I gotta say. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.